Hello, everybody. It is I, Zankoku, and um, a little bit of a different type of video. I kind of wanted to talk to my audience about some things, and honestly, I think some of you might be just like, "Hey, how's it going with the old Zankoku?" It's November. This is the first time in 13 years that I haven't done the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. So I've had, for the first time in 13 years, a really, well, not as busy October as I normally would have. I don't want to say it was completely stress free. It was definitely less stressful than it would have been if I were making those videos, but it definitely wasn't stress free, and I definitely was busy with a few things, and I just wanted to kind of share uh, an experience that I had um, with my continued failure when it comes to finding love, finding a girlfriend, a wife, whatever. It's been difficult. It's been hard, and I just wanted to share something to give a little bit of sense of what's going on with me and kind of maybe understand a little bit of like why I'm sort of not in the greatest place uh, emotionally right now. So probably should add some context because I'm sure there are some of you that are wondering. Because like, hey, Zankoku, haven't you been sort of like, I don't know, involved with a certain woman for like the last couple years? I mean, weren't you, trying to figure things out with her and whatnot? So why are all of a sudden we're talking about a dating disaster? um, well, because in all honesty, that situation is over. That part of my life, that chapter in my life, is closed. And honestly, I have been looking for a way to just kind of forget about her, to get to move on, to give up, really, to give up the pursuit, to give up my dream, my goal of having a relationship with her. And really, I've been trying to do that. I honestly, since last last year September, last year September really was the point where I started really wanting to uh, forget about her, to stop stop feeling for her, to stop loving her, to stop um, fighting. However, struggle. The heart wants what it wants, and the mind and the heart always battling. And I hadn't really started seriously trying to separate her out of my life. I haven't really tried that hard until this year in like the end of February, early March. That's when I really started to try to figure out how to just get get her out of my get her out of my heart, get her out of my mind. And part of that was looking into dating apps and dating services. And so I was just kind of looking into all kinds of things, looking at the pros and cons, and there are a lot of cons. Honestly, cons is in more than one way. But I decided to give it a go, and of course, I don't want to. I don't want to spend any money because, like, I feel like I'm at a huge disadvantage, anyways, and maybe that's just throwing money away at this point. And I really can't like afford to throw away a lot of money on something that could be just a complete waste of my emotional time as well as my actual time. I already throw enough money away wasting my time with, movies and games. So I'm just, so so back in July, I decided to try Facebook dating because it's free. Unfortunately, you can't just start a Facebook dating profile. You have to join Facebook. And so, begrudgingly, I joined Facebook because I'm desperate, obviously. So, blah, blah. Had to wait a month before I could start using the dating app. And so, about halfway through August, I was ready to go, and it was a very, very depressing situation. I covered this on a couple live streams, but the very first person I matched with was a scammer, and it was very depressing. It wasted about a week of my life with this person, and so I was now really, 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 shields up. Now, I didn't lose any money. All right, so I was wary to begin with, and now I'm super wary. And so I got matched up with another scammer. I think another scammer after that, but then I got matched up with a person who, at first, didn't seem to fit the profile of a scammer because, first of all, her main picture was a picture of her uh, at a very iconic local location, local landmark. So I at least knew she was in my area, lived in the same or lived near the same city that I live in or visited or whatever. So that's a first good mark. But also the pictures, she wasn't like she was good looking. She wasn't like super spectacular hot or anything like that. And some of the demographics didn't really match up with the typical scammer profiles. Like almost like the scammers are usually like 37 and they're usually 5'7", and they're usually originally from another country, and their profile pictures kind of have a very similar vibe. A lot of pictures in locations that you can't quite make out, but they could be local, but they might not be, whatever. Anyways, so this place, pictures from local area, nothing that looks super touched up, looked very natural, and her age was older than the normal age, and her height was different. So I thought, all right, we can, this might be legit. I will try out, see what happens. So we matched, and I sent her a message, and nothing from her for about 4 days. recording. I'm looking over here because I have a bunch of my messaging here so that I can get the days right and kind of like tell you what we were talking about. So like I started out with good morning, because it was about 10 in the a.m. and this was in September, early September. Good morning. I hope you are having a good day. I mean, I'm not good at texting. I'm old school. You don't get that back and forth that you do with a live conversation because you can't like see them. You can't kind of read what they're saying, their body language and stuff like that. Not that I'm saying I'm an expert with that stuff, but you do get like the energy and whatnot. So you can have a better time of conversing that way. So uh, no response from that, and I I have a few friends at work and at home in my life that are very interested in my dating life. I guess I'm sort of like drama central for them. They really found it very entertaining when I was talking about the scammers that I ran into. So they're and of course the fact that she didn't respond to me in like a couple days. They're like, okay, you know what? I don't know. There's something wrong there, or whatever. Maybe she's got like 5 guys she's talking to, things like that. Like a lot of red flags. So to them, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna send another message, give her another chance. So about 4 days later, and this was I think Monday morning. I said, hello, did you have a good weekend? And lo and behold, a day later, in the evening, she goes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. So, of course, this was later in the evening. So the next morning, I said, cool. I had an okay weekend. I hung out with some friends and watched some football. What did you do, if you don't mind me asking? So a whole day later, she responds, I rested and wore my a little bit. Now I'm thinking like work, okay, WOR, the K, like, but like maybe, maybe you meant work, but then my a little, like my, maybe she just meant work a little bit or something. I don't know. But it looked like maybe it's like I worked my ass off of it or something. So I was kind of confused by that. But anything. So later on, I believe the the Friday, um, yeah, I believe the following Friday, I asked like, have anything planned for this weekend? And then I followed up as like, I was planning about checking out, and this is kind of a local festival thing that happens every year uh, around this time in the city I live in. And so I thought, like, hey, this is a nice place. It's out in the open, it's public, it's a nice place to kind of like, hang out and do things and eat some of the local colors and stuff like that. So, and on that Sunday morning, so a couple days, so, nothing on Friday, nothing on Saturday. On Sunday, she goes, when do you want to go? So I'm thinking I'm thinking for that situation that she is interested in going with me. I mean, that sounds like what it is. And so I said, yeah, I was thinking sometime in the afternoon. I'm currently eating lunch and doing some laundry right now, but I'll most likely be good after 1 p.m. And then I responded, or then I posted it again. I don't want to be too forward, but we could meet up at this well-known landmark and check out the event if you would like. So I go, I tell her that I'm going, I tell her that I'm there, and of course, nothing from her, and that was fine. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but it just sounded like she was open to that idea. So I had a good time at the event. Later that night, I said, I'm sorry if I seemed a little presumptuous earlier, offering to meet you, offering to meet up with you. Because I thought maybe that was a little forward for me to assume that's what she meant. And, I said, I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk and get to know each other. I know it was also super short notice. I'm not really good at texting, and I tend to be more reactive than anything. And that's really what I am in real life. I'm better in person. But almost midnight that night, she goes, I like to meet, and I don't think you were presumptuous. We can plan for a day this week to meet. So that's an encouraging thing, And says, but we can chat here and get to know each other better, and that's fine. And so, like the next day, I said, good morning. I hope your weekend was good. I was wondering, what are your favorite foods? Well, because I need to start asking some questions and getting to know her better. But nothing. So a couple days later, I went, good morning. I hope you are doing well. You said we can plan to meet up this week. I think that's a good idea. But at this point, I think I'm a little frustrated that, like, you said we can chat to get to know each other. And yet, it seems like every time I say something and wait for her, it's like a couple days before she responds. So, I said that, might be a good idea if we do that. And I say that I have weekends off from work, and that's the best for me. But I'm open for weeknights too, if that's a problem. I'm thinking meeting up downtown is best because we will have a lot of options. But I'm not opposed to something different if you like. If we can make it work this week, we can try. Or if we can't make it work this week, we could try it for next week. And so, so at the end, so that week goes by, and so the following Monday, she goes, I am so sorry. I haven't been online and didn't know that you were texting me. It's like, I had my birthday last week, and it's been a bit wonky for me. I'm like, oh, that's understandable. It's I don't know why you would be offline for a long period of time, but hey, sometimes that happens. People don't always stay online. He goes, I have a line I can share with you to keep directly in touch instead of coming here all the time, but it's blocked. And I'm like, but it's blocked. That's weird. So, and then she gives me the phone number. And I go, that's okay. And I tried texting the phone number, and yep, it said that connections are blocked. And she goes, no one can even reach me till it's recharged. And she's got, crying face. And then she texts me this message. Phone carrier company. Hi, person. Your bill is $148.72 and is now available and due by sometime in October. Any past due balance can be paid to go to this website, blah, blah, or blah, blah, blah. And then it says, your line, and then the phone number she gave me, has been suspended for account events. Go to this website. So at this moment, I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, I see what's going on. I see. Like she's gonna probably now ask for money. She's probably going to now ask me to give her a gift card or something, that so that she can turn her phone on and we can talk. So I respond. Of course, I'm not gonna like say that. I was like, I'm sorry to hear that. I can see things are difficult. We don't have to meet up this week if things are not going well. Just tell me what you would like me to do, right? Just what would you like to do in this situation? And she says we can meet up on X day. I'm like, okay. I say, that sounds great. What time would you like to meet up? And then I say, a few hours later, I can get out of work at 4:30 p.m. I can leave work early if need be. And she goes, I'll be able to meet up this weekend on Saturday by noon, someplace on downtown on a certain street. And I said, that sounds good. We can meet up at this iconic location on that street or this rather public, they're both public, whatever, but this other thing, you know. And then I said, anytime for me is good. Just tell me what time you're comfortable with, and if there's a different place you would like to meet at, that is fine too. And then nothing for several hours. And I go, okay, I'll plan on being at this location at noon, right? And she responds, yeah, I'll try to be there by 6 p.m. So that's kind of a bit of a difference between first like by noon to 6 p.m. But I'm like, whatever, okay. And so, and of course, I want to make sure, like, so 6 p.m. Do you want to try to meet up at 6 p.m. then? No response. I'm a bit confused. Should I not go until around 6 p.m.? Still nothing. It's like, so then I go, okay, I guess I'll be there at 6. And then, and this is all happening the day of that Saturday. And so, a little bit before 6, I go, I'm here. And I wait. And I wait. And I wait. And I wait. So 6 p.m. Supposed to meet. About 7 after 7, according to the timestamp, I message her. Well, it's a little after 7 p.m. and I'm just getting, and I'm about to get to go. Or I'm about to get going soon. I hope you have a good weekend and get your phone situation sorted out. Because like I'm already there more than an hour, and I kind of just feel like my time has been wasted. So that's 7 o'clock. Now at 11 p.m. that same night, she comes back saying, I'm so sorry, I'm just coming online. Please, can you reactivate my line and call me so that we can keep in touch directly? I'm like, oh, see, there it is. And I'm like, and I'm just like, let me see what she proposes here. So how would I go about doing that? I respond to her, and she basically shows me the text of the bill and the website, and I'm like, fucking course. So I respond back. So, were you ever interested in me, or was it all a grift to get me to pay your phone bill? I'm not going to give money to a stranger like that. It's not like you did anything to build any trust with me. All you did was waste my time, and that's what she did. She wasted my time. She wasted my time waiting for her to reply. She wasted my time by saying, hey, we're going to go do something, and then not show up and not say anything. So, and then I continue. If you really wanted to get to know me, you would have showed up on Saturday. The sad thing is, everyone I've matched with on this app has been a scammer. How can I trust anyone on this app? And it's the truth. Everyone up to that point, and seemingly including this point, they've all been scammers, trying to sell me on something, trying to get my money. And so I continue. I truly hope that this isn't normal for you and that you are just desperate at the moment. I'm sorry you're struggling, but this is not the way. So she responds, "It is not normal for me, and I'm impressed by your composure." Interesting. She seems to be able to respond quickly now. "I am convinced about you now. Initially, I wasn't sure about you, but something about your response showed me the kind of man you are, and that got my full attention and interest. I thank you for being patient and understanding with me. I'm deeply sorry about Saturday, and now fully apologize. I would really want to meet you." Really? So now she's playing it off like this was like some sort of test, some sort of thing. And now, in some aspects, I can understand that. There's a lot of bullshit online, and there's a lot of fucking bullshit people online, too. And so maybe she's been in a lot of situations where guys were being very disingenuous with her, and she needs to figure out a way to weed them out. But this is some game playing bullshit. And I'm already, like, upset. And I'm already very wary and suspicious of her. But I respond. There is a part of me that wants to believe in your sincerity, but there's also a part of me that thinks you're just playing games with me. I want to be forgiving, but I'm also wary. It is hard to trust at this moment. People make mistakes, and I am far from perfect. I would really like to give you another chance, but I don't know. And then the next day, I message her, "I guess I'm willing to hear you out. What is it that you propose?" And she responds, "I will be more open with you because the way you responded. We meet people on this site, but there are different ways to give a person's personality. And even though I don't know you much, you gave me a glimpse of your personality there. That was my way of gauging how people respond to situations." So once again, this was a test. "I'm willing to meet up and speak with you in person at the same location today." So this was like a Monday. And, I respond, "By the same location, do you mean this location?" About 2 hours later, after no response, and me being like, kind of tired of all this stuff, I went, "Actually, today is not good for me. It's been a hard day at work, and I think I'm just going to take it easy tonight. Maybe some other time." And so she goes, "I think it's better to talk first. I'm not always on here. You can call me on WhatsApp on the same number and clarify some things before meeting. Also, I don't have your contact, so I gave her my phone. I can always block people, and yes, sure, she can sell it to scammers, but I'm savvy enough to not answer those calls, or, not really. So I decide to move on to WhatsApp. By the way, people, WhatsApp is when you're on a dating service and someone wants to move to another messaging service, especially immediately, that is a red flag. Because then you can't, the dating service can't have the logs of the conversations. And so if they are scamming you, you can't just report them for the conversation, content of the conversation. So that's kind of their way of getting around bans and stuff like that. However, the texting options, the conversation options on Facebook dating are pretty garbage. So I can completely understand why someone would want to move out of that chat environment and into one that is a little bit easier to use. One where you can send pictures and make calls to each other. It's definitely a lot better experience overall. So so we get on to WhatsApp and I give her a call and we talk in person and she has an accent. So immediately I know that um, she might not have been, she might not be originally from here. And it's true. She's actually not born in America. She's from Nigeria and has only been in the country for a few years. So that's not a problem with me. That's not a problem with me. I am not against dating people from other countries. I'm not against dating people of different race. Um, I have no problem with that. If you are a good person and I like you and we gel and stuff like that, that's the important thing. It doesn't matter if you're black, brown, green, blue, white, yellow, turquoise. Plaid, maybe. That's just kind of weird. But I mean, honestly, no. I mean, like, I'm not one of those guys who's like, no, it's got to be racial purity. Oh my God! Like, no, no, no. All right, I'm an equal opportunity disappointer. So, moving on. So we talk and we decide to make up or to actually meet. And so we set a time and we set a place and we set a date. And the time is 5 p.m. And so I've got to get out of work and it'll give me a little bit of time to go home, get dressed, and go to this place. So then I get on my way home. I get a call from her. And she's like, look, something's come up. We need to push it back. Push it back to like 7 o'clock. And I'm like, 7 o'clock? That is later than I would want to on a work night because we're going to meet and then we're going to do something. It's I'm not opposed to that, but I'm just like, okay, well, wasn't prepared for that. But fine, we'll do that. So she gives me a call. And it's like, that's fine. And then I get a message from her saying that she's here. And I'm like, you're here, but I thought you said you wanted to meet at, well, actually, she said 7 and I went, well, how about 6 o'clock? And she goes, yeah, 6 o'clock. We can do 6 o'clock. Like, so she's there and I'm like, oh man, like you're there? I thought we were waiting until 6. I'm like, do you want me to come over right now? 10 minutes pass, no response. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just go over there. I can hang around that place. I've done it before, so I will do it again. So I go to that place, tell her I'm here, and no response. And I'm like, and I look around, I don't see anyone looking for someone else. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. We'll just do 6, right? 6 almost coming around, and I get a message from her saying like, I'm so sorry. The thing that came up is gonna be at 6, so I will have to meet you at 7 after the thing. She didn't realize that it was at a different time zone, and that time zone, messes with it. I'm like, that's okay, that's all right, I understand. So I'm gonna spend another hour here. I'm like, that's fine, I can do that. That's no problem. And so, 6 o'clock rolls around, just walking around, doing whatever. 7 o'clock rolls around, and I'm like, okay, 7 o'clock. All right. 5 minutes after 7, I give her a call, just, say, hey, you still coming? Nothing. No answer. So I'm like, okay. So about 7:13. So 13 minutes after 7, about 8 minutes after calling her, I message, well, I guess I'm quite the fool, huh? Because I'm thinking, here you are. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? And I'm like, here I am again, like doing the same thing. And I get a call a minute later, and she's like, no, I'm not the fool. I'm just, the phone call, the thing, the meeting, whatever, took longer, and I'm gonna be on my way. And it's like, could have, I don't know, something. You could have told me something, right? But that's fine. It's possible she didn't have a chance. Whatever. So about 7:30, 7:33, she shows up and says, I'm here. And we end up meeting. And so, well, she is a real human being. Holy shit. She's a real human being. It's nice to meet you. She's like, I'm so sorry. How can I apologize? Can I give you a hug? I'm like, yeah, sure, give me a hug. Gave me a hug. And then we went and went to this place to sit down and talk. And she asked me like a million questions, just like rapid fire. I could barely get a question in edgewise, but I was like, wow, so you're real? And it's like, yeah, I'm real. And she grabbed my hand and like touched her arm and stuff like that. And as we walked around the area, we crossed the street, and she held my hand while we crossed the street. It was really cute. She said like, life is good, life is great, isn't it? It's like you're out here. It's a beautiful night. And you're here with a beautiful woman. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I mean, but if I'm here with a beautiful woman, I should probably put my arm around her, right? And she says, yes, you should. And so I put my arm around her, and it was really nice. It was really nice. And we decided that this weekend, or the weekend coming at this time, that we were going to go do something, maybe watch a movie. Well, actually, no. We were going to go do something. The plan wasn't necessarily sinister, but we're going to go do something Saturday. And I'm like, cool, that's great. We go our separate ways, and I'm excited. I'm excited because, wow, she's a real person. And so Saturday, I get a message from her the Thursday before Saturday saying like, hey, tomorrow let's go watch a movie. There's a movie that I want to watch. And I'm like, tomorrow? You mean Friday? I thought we were going to do Saturday. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. I don't know why I was thinking Friday. It's like, but yeah, so let's go watch a movie by 11 by 1 p.m. I was like, okay, that's cool. And I'm wondering, like, because she said Friday, and that makes me wonder if she's got several people that she's got. She's dating a bunch of people, she's meeting a bunch of people, and so she's getting the days mixed up, and maybe that's why, she's got these phone problems, because she's got multiple phones for multiple people. I don't know. It's just, I'm still wary. I'm still sketchy about things. So Friday or Saturday comes up in the morning. I'm like, okay, so good morning. How's it going? Like, where do you want to meet to go watch this movie? Some time passes. It's getting close to 1. I'm like, okay, I go like, how can I meet you if I don't know where I'm supposed to go? 1 o'clock passes, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're not watching a movie today. I guess. Because I'm like, and then I get a call from her and she goes, no, 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 no. It's like, I was busy in the morning. I want to watch this movie and it's at this place. And that place is like a half hour for me to get there. And it's about 45 minutes till showtime. So I'm like, oh my God. All right, I have to haul ass if I'm gonna get there in time. So I'm like, okay, so we're gonna go 3 p.m. show at this place. Right, I'm on it. Go. So I quickly, throw on a nice shirt, whatever. Get to going. I get there about 10 minutes before showtime. So I'm like, okay, great. So she's nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's going to show up a little closer. So I'm just waiting. I text, I'm here. I'm in the lobby. 3 o'clock, showtime starts. Nothing. Nothing. Keep going. Wait some more time. Nothing's going on. I'm like going, oh, gee, freaking whiz. And then I get a call from her. And she goes, I'm so sorry. I left my phone at my home and I had to go back and get it. So I am about 15 minutes away. Please just buy the tickets and we can go straight in when I get them. I'm like going, oh, gee. Oh, buy the tickets ahead of time with you not being here. Ah, I'm like, and I'm like just thinking like, man, is she just fucking around with me? Is she angry that I didn't pay her phone bill? Now she's gonna get me to waste some money. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna trust. I'm going to trust. So I buy the tickets, even though I really didn't want to. And I'm like waiting, and I'm thinking like, we're getting close to 3:30. 4 o'clock rolls around. I'm just gonna go into the theater and watch the rest of the fucking movie. I don't care. I'm gonna get some of my money out of this. Anyways, so almost like 3:30, she says, "Oh, I'm here," and she's here, and she shows up, and she's like, "I'm so sorry," and whatever. I'm like, "No, let's go to the movie." We're in the movie theater. We sit down next to each other, and she grabs my hand, and she's holding my hand, and we're holding hands um, throughout the entirety of the movie for the most part, which is I'm not necessarily used to that. Like I've been to a movie with a woman that I've been involved with before, like actually romantically involved, and never really held hands in the theater. We may have done other things, anyways, but never the hold hands thing. So I was just, but it was nice that she's definitely not afraid of physicality. And, she seems interested enough in me to, establish a actual physical connection in a way. And so, and there was some parts of the movie that were a little intense, and she kind of jumped like and held on to me. And honestly, like I always thought that was kind of a cliche because I'm a big horror fan, and I've seen horror movies with dates, and never had that situation ever happen to me. So I always just thought it was some sort of movie myth, some television myth that, the girl does not jump into your arms and stuff like that. But it was happening. Anyways, she wanted to get some popcorn. I'm like, okay, I'll go get some popcorn. And we're sharing the popcorn. She grabs like a whole fistful and just starts shoving it in my mouth, like trying to feed me. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna reciprocate, but I'm gonna be very, polite. I'm gonna take one kernel. I'm gonna give it to her, and she just like tried to swallow my hand, and then just kind of, and I'm like, sexy, but also unexpected, like, and she, finger licking good, I guess. So, and the thing is, so like, we're sitting there holding hands and whatever, and I decided to like, put my hand on her arm and just kind of, caress her a little bit because I wanted to see, how, and she reciprocated. And look, this is one thing that you'll all have to understand about me is like I definitely feel like the personal space boundary person. Like I don't usually hug people unless they're offering. I don't go and give hugs unless I get permission. I don't usually make contact with people. I'm big on personal space. I don't want to offend. I don't want to um, make people uncomfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable. So, but if I'm into you and you're into me and I know you're cool with me being physical, I am going to be physical. I am very touchy feely. I am very huggy. If you like me kissing you, I will kiss on you. I am all about that. I am super affectionate. I love to love on my woman and I love to hold her hand, put my arms around her, to hug on her, to touch her, to kiss her. I'm super big on that. I'm also a gigantic doter. Like I totally dote. Like part of it is I like embarrassing her, but I will say things. I will be like, "Hello, beautiful. You're so great, such a sexy beast. Oh my goodness, girl, you're so cute right now." All that stuff, and she's gonna be, like I am just like, "Oh, there she goes, beautiful. I hate it when you have to go, but I love to watch you leave." Swinging those hips, shaking that thing. Damn, girl. I'm just like, no, I am. I'm totally that guy. Like when I know that you want it, I'm giving it to you. I am like, my love just wants to be poured out. All right. And I will, of course, too much. You can tell me like, hey, back off. But, so anyways, and I was really happy that was happening, that she was like really okay with physical contact and she seemed to be really into me. And so after the movie, we talked some more and she gave me a little kiss on the cheek, not, but it was really good. We decided to go have lunch the next day, which would be Sunday. And so, I was excited. It was great. So here comes Sunday morning. We're supposed to have some lunch. I tell her, good morning, how's it going? Looking forward to lunch. She says something like she's in church. It's like, that's cool, that's okay. So 12 o'clock, nothing. 1 o'clock, nothing. And I'm like, okay, man, I'm getting hungry, whatever. It's like, like 2 o'clock, and I'm just like, okay, what is going on, right? Like seriously. And then she calls me and says, okay, hey, this is where I want to go. If we're still okay for lunch. I'm like, yes, we're still okay. This is the place we want to go. Like, that's fine. You know, Once again, it's like a half hour away, so I'm gonna go right now. I get there. Well, actually, I drive by the place because I'm not familiar with the place, and so I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna be late, and I get a call, and I'm in my car, and so I'm using speakers and stuff like that, and I guess she's not really hearing me, and so because I'm like hello, and she's like hello, I'm like yeah hello, and then she hangs up, and I'm like oh man. Now I'm late, and now she's there, and she's like, "Oh man, am I getting revenge or whatever?" So I'm freaking out about that. So I roll around, get there, and once again, she's nowhere to be found. I'm like, oh God, like, did she call me and think like I stood her up and then just left? Or more likely, did she call me to say she was running behind? And I'm like, maybe that's it. So, anyways, I say that I'm here, and I'm like, you know, at the restaurant. I was like, I've never been there before. So I'm just like, let me just look at the menu before. It was just like, okay. And so, not quite 10 minutes later, she shows up. And it's like, okay, and we have a good meal. We have a good conversation. I'm like, I do tell her, it's like, it's a little frustrating, that we can't seem to have like a, hey, this is a time we need to meet up at this time. This is what we're doing. And so I said later, let me say, so next week Sunday, because we decided that was the best day for both of us. Next week Sunday, 1 p.m. at this restaurant downtown. It's a restaurant I've always wanted to go to, try out some jambalaya. I love jambalaya. I wanted to try out theirs. And so I'm like, hey, you like that kind of food? She's like, oh yeah, it's great. This sounds great. Perfect. All right. Because, it's sort of like a Cajun Creole place. It's really cool. And she's like, she's down for that. Anyways, so we also ended up having a little bit of a spicy conversation, which honestly I thought was very refreshing because, first that she's so open about it with me and allowed me to be open about it with her, which, sometimes you're a little scared or you're a little intimidated when it comes to talking about certain subject matter, especially if it's of a certain sexual nature. You don't want to be like a creep and like totally scare her away, but but to have a refreshingly candid conversation. Also, it was interesting because she's from Nigeria and she's only been in America for 3 years, and apparently I'm the first white guy that she's dating, and she also was curious if it looks the same. And I'm like, well, you've got the internet. You could find that answer out for it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, just not as dark. I, you know, it, I'm yeah. Anyways, it was an interesting conversation overall. We talked about like she was, she's a different culture. She talked about like it's weird that there's so much open homosexuality out there, and I'm like, well, that's kind of like our society. We have a sort of live and let live mentality. As long as you're not really hurting me or messing with my life, you can go do whatever, and then she's like, oh, have you ever like had sex with a man? I'm like, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. I am like super straight. There is no messing. Like, I don't even like to look at my own dick. Sorry. Like, anyways, but it's funny. It was funny. It was a great, refreshing, and an honest conversation. And after we went our separate ways, she texted me again saying how uh, horny she was by that conversation. And holy shit, I mean, I've had phone sex before. All right. I was in a long distance relationship with a woman, and this was before texting was really a thing. And so, yeah, anyways. This is probably my first time that we ever did, like, I guess it would be considered sexting. Anyways, it was wild. It was crazy. But, so, and honestly, I found it to be really cool because like, look, I've got low self esteem and I don't have a lot of self confidence, and I feel a lot when I look at the mirror that I'm not attractive, that I don't have anything physical to offer women, and that like women, you know, you know, the old adage is like, I make them the Mojave Desert. I make them drier than fuck. Like, and to have a woman say that she was really turned on by me, and that she wanted me, and things like that, was really really awesome feeling for me, because it made me feel so much better about myself, because I was so worried that like I couldn't elicit that emotion in a woman anymore, and so it was great, and it's definitely an ego boost, but um, so Sunday comes around, and in the morning I'm like, I'm looking forward to our meal, and she messages me and says like, oh, she had a problem and she wasn't on WhatsApp for a while because she got signed out accidentally, but now she could get back in, so she probably had a password problem because you get signed out and you forget the password that you made like 2 years ago, and like I don't know what my fucking password is. Like, anyways, I never sign in. I'm always auto signed in. Whatever. Anyways, so but you know I said, well, that's bad, but it's good that you're back on. So I'm looking forward to seeing you 1 o'clock. All right. So I go downtown. Get to the place. Of course, a little early because that's how I roll. Say I'm here, then kind of give my what I'm wearing just in case. Us white people, we all look alike. So gotta differentiate myself. And 1 o'clock, nothing. It's fine. It's downtown. I can understand parking can be a problem. It's the weekend, just she might be like looking for a place and then has to walk to the place. It's fine. 1:30. All right. So it's about 2 o'clock. Still nothing. 2:10. I give her a call. No answer. So 2:24. I text her going, I'm going to walk around the block. Text/call me, please. All right. So I walk around. 2:48. I'm like, should I just go home? I mean, like, what am I doing here? 3 o'clock. Give her another call. No answer. So about 3:05, I'm like, well, I guess I'm eating alone. So, I'm there. I might as well eat. So I go into the restaurant, and once again, it reinforces why I don't go to sit down restaurants by myself, because it was such a depressing and lonely experience. How many, sir? One. Oh. Sit here at the smallest table. All a bunch of couples around me, all having good conversations, laughing, and enjoying their company and all that stuff. And I'm on my phone by myself. Oh, here's my meal. Eat. It was a great meal, by the way. It was really good. She missed out. It was a spectacular meal. It was good. Their fried calamari was awesome. The jambalaya was all right. It wasn't. It had a weird kind of aftertaste to it that I wasn't used to, and I really couldn't taste the vegetables all that much. But it was still pretty good. I mean, definitely not bad. It was good. Anyways, so but I'm bummed. I am bummed. I'm really sad. I am really upset, and all right, I had to charge my battery. A lot of talking, apparently. Yes, I know. But where was I? Oh, yes, I was bummed. I was really upset. I was sad, kind of angry. Like, you messaged me earlier that day. You could have said something, like if you weren't planning on coming or whatever. So, anyways, and so I decided to message her. Um, and this was the following day. Um, Actually, no, it wasn't the following day. It was a couple days later. I gave her a chance to say something. So I think this was like 3 days later. Uh, I texted her, "Good morning. I pray that you are doing well. To be honest, I'm disappointed that you didn't show up on Sunday. I hope you are okay and nothing bad has happened. I would very much like to see you again. I really enjoyed the time we spent together and would love to get to know you more. I don't know what you were going through, and I don't know your struggles. It seems you have a lot going on, and maybe it is difficult to find time. I hope you have a good day, and maybe we can talk again sometime." So I think it was important that I didn't message her right away because I was still upset and angry. And honestly, things happen. Things happen. And I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, it seems like that can be a mistake. I sometimes give too much leeway to people. Sometimes I cut them a little bit too much slack. I mean, certain situation comes to mind where I just kept giving them a pass on things that they did to me, and the way they treated me. Uh, but I want to have things work. Okay, I want to have things work. I want to believe that things can be good, right? So, and yeah, maybe that's part of the situation that I'm in. I'm so lonely, and I'm getting older, and I've got less time, and so you know I don't. So I sent that message, and a few days later, 4 days later, on Saturday, almost a week from the date, the stand up date, the stood up date, whatever you want to call it. I'm at a wedding and I get a message from her. So, like 6 days between messages. She told me good morning, which is really odd because it's like 4 p.m. Asked me how I've been, and then quotes one of my texts, the one where it says, I don't know what you're going through and I don't know your struggles. And she goes, yes, my instincts are right. I have a lot going on with me at the moment. Coupled with all that, I recently was involved in a car accident with a truck. My car was towed away same day. I'm back home now. So, and my immediate response was, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you are not hurt. And then she responds, just a swollen right eye and my head that hurt. And I go, oh no, I pray that you recover quickly. And then I said, is there anything I can do for you? Uh, in parentheses, within reason, of course. And I'm like, okay, she got into a car accident. That's a valid excuse for not showing up. But the thing is, did she have the car accident that day? And then she's saying, I just got home. So that makes a little weird. Were you in the hospital for a week? You know, or did you have this accident afterwards? Which still doesn't kind of excuse what you did. And, sure, you have a lot of stuff going on. I understand that. But a little courtesy, a little respect, I would say. Uh, consider my feelings when you make a plan to do something and you don't do it. She doesn't even apologize. And so that was the last message that she sent me. So the next morning, the next day, Monday morning, I said, good morning. I hope you are recovering well. And then on Tuesday morning, I said, good morning. May your day be filled with happiness and blessings. And then on Wednesday morning, I decided to say good morning again. And then a little later, I said, I would very much like to talk to you about your situation. Perhaps I could come over to your place sometime. I could bring some Chinese food or a pizza. Uh, she said that she liked Chinese food when we talked earlier. So, no response. So, 5 days later, basically, uh, pretty much a week since she last messaged me, I sent her a message. I'm sorry that things have been challenging for you, and the timing of it all has not been good. I wish you nothing but the best, and I will continue to pray for you. With that being said, I can't help but feel discouraged. I want to believe that you were serious with me, but it feels like I'm being played with. I don't want to believe that, but I am increasingly thinking that is the case. The lack of consistent communication is a huge issue. If you are no longer interested in me, that's okay. Just say so. I just don't want to be left twisting in the wind here, not knowing what is going on. I really do like you, and the time we spent together was great. I had been hoping that things would continue, but it looks like you are not in a place in your life for that right now. And so that's the last message that I sent her. Today, as I'm recording this, it has been 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks, since she last messaged. And I'm not sure what to think, and I'm not sure what to do. According to WhatsApp, my last few messages have been sent but have not been received or viewed. And according to WhatsApp, the last time she was on the app was more than 2 weeks ago. Now, I don't know what to think. And she said that she had head pains. So she had a head injury from that car accident. And, that can lead to things. A head injury could be a brain bleed. Um, and she could be in a coma. She could be in the hospital. She could be dead. I don't know. I hope she's not. I hope she's doing well. And I hope she's okay. But there's a part of me, and this is probably because of the past scammers and practically everything else in my life, makes me think that she's still just trying to emotionally manipulate me into paying a phone bill. She's like, I'll wait. He'll be like, he'll lose his mind and decide to do in desperation, just pay that $150, whatever. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she met somebody else and just doesn't, and it's just like it's not worth it to say anything. I mean, I guess I kind of understand. You don't want to get into a fight, but you just like send the message and then block me. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe she lost her phone. Maybe she got picked up by ICE and she's been deported. I don't know. That's the problem. Is I don't know. But it's really just it's 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 discouraging. It's discouraging because it seems like every time I start to believe in myself, every time I start to believe that, hey, you know what, I can do this. I can attract a woman. I can date. I can, maybe have that life. Shit like this happens. And I just don't know. I mean, I want to believe that she was sincere and that she really did have kind of a connection with me, but maybe she didn't. Maybe it was all a game. Or maybe something bad did happen to her, and if it did, I hope she comes through all right. I did send her one last message, and that was today on the Facebook dating message app, because I don't know if she is paying attention to that, and maybe she'll pay attention to the Facebook one. But I basically said, I hope you're doing okay, because I do. Even if she was trying to manipulate me, even if she was wasting my time, even if she was involved with X number of other guys and decided to, pursue one of them instead of me. That's fine. That's life. It's the not knowing that kind of sucks. But once again, it's just like every time in my life that I've tried to have a relationship with someone, every time they would leave me. They would leave me. They would push me away. They just disappear. And I have to start again with nothing. And then the worst part is, going through that app after another scammer or two, I haven't been matched with anybody. Nobody has liked my profile since that. And I got so disheartened by Facebook dating that I actually joined Tinder. A mistake. Well, whatever. Tinder's got its own problems, holy shit. Especially if you don't want to pay money, but I actually matched with 2 people on Tinder, and both of them were scammers. Pretty soon I won't match anyone, because the scammers will probably have like this portfolio of people and accounts, not to like or interact with, because they're not lucrative. They're not gonna give you any money. That's probably what happened on Facebook. It'll soon happen on Tinder. And this is so hard to just find somebody who's real and genuine. But yeah, I know they have to like my profile, and that's probably the biggest problem. I mean, look at this. I mean, I'm old. I'm not handsome. I'm not wealthy. Not successful. Why would anyone want this? It's like I find a genuine soul who just, who likes me for me, who likes me being a silly dork, tries to make them laugh all the time, who, would love to just do nothing more than, well, I mean, I would like to do more, but I mean, just, the simple things, like to sit on the couch with my woman, arm around her, watching some cheesy horror movies, discussing how awesome that gore effect was, that decapitation. just being able to love on her and her loving me. You know, a woman who just wants me, wants to be with me, you know, who wants to spend time with me, who would rather spend time with me than be alone. You know, where is that person? That person doesn't exist. Obviously, they don't exist. They want someone who can take them places, travel the world. They want someone who can take them to expensive restaurants every night of the week. You know, someone who will take them to the club, someone who will, you know, you go weekend ski trip in Aspen, and then you follow that with a morning in the Florida Keys. You know, go to this big band's rock concert. You know, and not actually experience the person you're with, but just be taken to these places. You know, and that's like, no, it's not like I wouldn't want to go here and there. And I definitely would want to go there with someone and share that experience with them. But I really just want to be with a person. And that was the thing. It's like, I just really wanted to be with a person that I want to be with. And every time I find something like that, they just don't want to be with me. They never want to be with me. Even when they want to be with me, they eventually don't want to be with me. Because I'm not enough. I can't give them the extra stuff. So, another relationship failure. I wouldn't have, you know, went through these texts and discussed this if I would have gotten any message from her. If there was still like something. But at this point, I don't expect to ever hear from her again. And I don't know why. I don't know why. And here I am in a situation where I think I did everything right and was very forgiving and very understanding and very patient. And yet I feel like I did something wrong. I feel like I failed here somewhere. Thinking about, like, what did I do to make her just not show up that day, ghost me, possibly make up a story about getting into a car accident? I don't know. Even when it's not my fault, it's my fault. So there you have it. I don't even know if anyone's watched the entirety of this thing, made it to this point. If you have, please, please leave a comment. Let me know. But I just thought I would share that. You know, I'm alive. I'm not just sitting alone, brooding. I've been actively trying to figure shit out. And maybe next time, next video, I'll talk about the situation with the person, the 2-year ordeal. maybe, I don't know. Every time I start to believe in myself, every time. Every time. And what sucks is, like, today, before I made the video, I was talking to someone on Tinder, and they were a scammer. And I'm just like, just feel like throwing my phone in the trash. Just like, what can I do? I hope you're all well, everybody, and take care of yourselves.